So if you stay ready,
you don't have to get ready.
Get established.
The individual opinions expressed on here do not reflect the show as a whole and the goal of joining in and supporting our community.
We are here today to little shine on the 757, our hometown, and a major album drop a couple weeks ago from Clipse. Phenomenal product, phenomenal project, and they represent it. So we want to do a little review. So here's how it goes.
Let God sort them out.
And we'll
let God sort them out.
Let God sort them out.
Phenomenal project, man. Phenomenal project, man. It was, good to have Malice back. Hit them, together as a collective. I think Malice coming back kind of reignited, Pusha. I think Pusha went deep in his bag this time, lyrically.
Yeah,
he always been a lyrical dude,
deep in his bag.
But bringing Malice back, he had to step his game up because Malice that dude.
Yeah,
it was just good.
Put a little extra spark on him.
Yeah, no doubt. When Big Bro come, you gotta be at your best.
That's how it goes.
The magic of them together, man. It's just I was watching the Roots picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And Pusha was out there doing some joints, and they didn't know that Malice was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Man, you could just see the ignition start up to the engine rev to another level when he came out and they were doing their thing together, man, because it's been so long.
Yeah, exactly. The maturity of this project, like the mature subject matter, how they elevated the quote unquote coke bars, so to speak. They dropped a lot of knowledge. Okay. A lot of detailed things in here that you really need to go through and dissect. You know what I mean? If you got an ear for bars, if you want to hear what people are really actually talking about, the certain things that were said, especially from Malice, he just brought a spiritual level to this project that was just like unmatched. And them being in Pharrell, it just was, man, the time that they took, the rollout, I mean, the little press tour, like this was an old school album rollout, press release, singles being dropped, controversy surrounding it. Controversy always kind of adds that extra fuel, but once you get into the meat of the project, it's like you forget all of that.
Don't forget about that Tiny Desk concert too, man. I love Tiny Desk concerts. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But they came, man, and I don't want to tell them, but it's like we talking about it. You got to go over there and see the Tiny Desk concert, and you got to watch it start to finish, because if you don't, you miss some very valuable things that's going to happen. They did it.
How it was laid out. Yeah, how it was laid out. It was just, it just pretty much sent you on a small little journey from where they started, where their new work is, and then taking you back to what the hits that they're going to put them out there. You know what I'm saying? It compartmentalized it to that small thing, but it was packed full of good bars and good music.
And the intimacy of the Tiny Desk, like you get an opportunity to really feel what they saying, like how the camera zoomed in on Pusha when he was kicking that verse from Whips and Chains. I mean, if you just look at how he was just bringing it, it felt like he was talking to you personally, just how he was presenting it, just how he articulated what he was saying. They pronounced every single syllable.
Yes.
I mean, it's just a master class in execution as far as music, as far as lyrics, song structure, cadence. I mean, each song, they were in a different pocket. like as far as flows go. Like I think it's the FICO joint where Push said he was in a zone like Guru. Like who channels their inner guru in 2025? Like a lot of the listeners don't even know who Guru is or understand the impact Guru had on hip hop, but he was in that pocket, the Nori pocket that both of them were in on Ace Trumpets. That's classic CNN Nori flow. Like it was just, I mean, it just was crazy, man. I really enjoyed the project. Just still listening to it, man. It's a breath of fresh air. You know what I mean? Not just repping where we from, but just repping the type of hip hop that we like.
Right. And for those that don't know what he meant by CNN, it's Capone and Noriega, which Nori shortened his name, and that's what most of y'all know him as. Like on Drink Champs, he's Nori. He's been Nori since probably that Pharrell project that took him to another level. But that's what when Rose says CNN, he won't talk about the news network. He was talking about
Thanks for clearing that up, big.
No problem. And Capone is back.
Let's not overlook him talk about Guru, which is Guru from Gangstar. A lot of young folk might not know that because they were part of a hot duo that was in the 90s and the early 2000s.
If y'all really music lovers, I mean, you don't have to go to the record store no more to go buy these albums. You don't have to go digging through your aunt or your uncle's old records and everything. I mean, you can, but you don't have to because streaming. So anything that we reference, if y'all want to hear it, go back and check it out because it's some gold that's pretty much kind of lost in the universe. There are pieces. When I was looking at iTunes Top 100 today, I was telling them about this. I saw so many older albums for the hip hop list or rap list. It was like, I think the oldest I saw was 86, which was Beastie Boys.
License to Ill.
So it's like 3 songs on the top 100 on the streaming from like 19. The oldest one I saw was 1986, which was the Beastie Boys album in today's world. So if y'all are not going back and sampling or indulging in some of what I will call classic hip hop, you're gonna miss some of the fundamental things that are happening. This Clipse album is so, I don't like the body of work and the way that this thing was crafted. It's like Billy Crystal said back in the day. It's simply marvelous.
Marvelous,
like, it's virtually a flawless project. You can listen, you can turn this thing started and just let it roll, and you get different pieces from some of the contributors. Like there's a song they got with Tyler the Creator. Now, Tyler's known to be a little more vibrant, extremely creative. I guess it's where part of the thing with Tyler the Creator. But he went to the street with his verse on the album.
What I got was the fact that they recorded the album in Paris, right? Paris, France. And we all know Paris has a lot of history. It's a lot of history in Paris, a lot of historical things, a lot of kind of construction and museums and art. Like Paris is full of art. It's where a lot of models go to do photo shoots, a lot of fashion stuff going on because they were at the Louis V headquarters. So it's a lot of artwork. It's a creative space. It's a creative atmosphere, period. So I think Pharrell was just digging in different bags of just, being creative and trying different instruments and different, because Pharrell is a musical dude. Like he's not just I'm a load up the MP, I'ma chop up samples. Like Pharrell understands chords, he understands vocals, like he's a musician, understands music. So I just think he just kind of got into the full vibe of being in Paris, being creative director of Louis V, and just the whole atmosphere. And with Push being in a creative space, and Malice being a creative space, I think they just took their time and just kind of dug into different things. Because I didn't really see a lot of the tracks as dark. It just had like an art gallery type of feel to it, like you in an art gallery looking at different paintings and sculptures and things of that nature. That's how I viewed the album. That's where it kind of took me when I just kind of sat back to look at the creative process of it, the creative part of it, you know. And when
I didn't think it was dark either. I think it talked about some dark things. You know, but I didn't see it as dark. I just see it as extremely creative. Like, I'm just, you know, look, I'm proud of the album. Like, I had a part in, you know, the only part I got is from the 757, but I'm proud.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like they really, I just feel like they went to another level with this album. And I think that's something to be proud of, and to be able to do it on such excellence. And you didn't get bored with their phrasing. I mean, everything was creative. It was thoughtful. There's a verse in a song where I believe it was Pusha that said, maybe it was Malice, but either way, it was Clipse, where he said, I always leave my house with my peace, like Mahatma. Now,
that was Pusha.
Like, okay, right. So, normally people say things that are simple in today's marketplace when it comes to rap. So in order to get that, and I'm more of a beat listener, music melody listener. Like I'm the music. When you see the collective of us, which I know a lot of y'all may not know us, but some of us, they know what we do and how we do things. And I'm the music listener. So there were certain things that stood out to me that I was like, man, that was just so smooth. Because when you hear this, because of these, you know, the drug references that have went on forever from the beginning until he also in this album, he said, I leave my peace. So on the surface, I leave my house with my peace. We thinking his gun. I mean, just on the surface, like Mahatma. And people like, okay, well, like, who is Mahatma? He could have said it's simple, made it real simple. I leave my house with my peace like Gandhi. But he used his first name to give you an extra layer so that you can say, okay, let's just think a little deeper. Let's be a little creative. They just paint. It's like the brush strokes that they use. There's another verse that I like, and I talked to Ro and him about. Ro is the lyrical genius in this capacity. And I heard the verse where he said, I hid 6 million behind Tyvek, right? So that's gonna go over so many people's head. They're gonna hit a 6 million, but they're gonna be like, Tyvek, is that a stock? Is that a company? Is that they're gonna go through all these things. Like, is that a team in another country he invested in? Is that some new vehicle? Is that this? Is that this? So my background was in mortgage lending from back in the day, right? Did 15 years in that industry. And Tyvek is the moisture barrier wrap that they put on buildings nowadays. It's the modern thing they've been doing, that they put on buildings. It's like it just keeps the moisture out and it helps insulate as well. But when you look now, if you pay attention to this, when you riding around, you see new construction homes or you see new construction buildings, because they do it in apartments as well. You're going to see when they're building it, when they're framing the facility, when they come back, they put this plastic, it looks like a plastic wrap. And on that wrap, it says Tyvek. So either he made an investment in his personal home or a home that's worth $6 million, or it's an apartment building, or it could be a commercial building. But that little reference would just go over so many people. So many people are just gonna miss it. I love some of those little clever nuggets that were in there. That was like, okay, I would say, man, listen to the album. If something you ain't clear about, throw that thing in Google and see what it is, what it comes out to. Because if you put Mahatma, in there, I don't know what else you get, but I know Mahatma Gandhi.
I know when we were, like I said, once it started, in the internet started jumping and everything started coming out, they always had, and they still have Genius, which is the rap or the song website where they break down the lyrics and stuff like that, and then get the artist to bring commentary on what the lyrics meant. What to say.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that.
Well,
what is that called?
It's called Genius.
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 Okay.
And you just reference that, and like I said, the artist, you'll see the lyrics. You can contribute to it if you join the site and just give whatever commentary or any lyric that you hear on there, so that you can say, okay, well, hey, this person meant. And if the artist, like I said, if they find that what you said might have been close to what they were saying, they'll jump in and add on to that commentary and say, yeah, that was what I meant.
Oh, that's dope.
Or they will give you the perspective of it. So, for anybody that wants to, dive deeper, because it does have a lot of I know they have Chains and Whips up there where they broke down their lyrics of what they were saying about the subject matter that they were saying about on that, where it's every bar is broken down to exactly what they meant. But see,
that boy Pusha said, I will close your heaven for the hell of it. I felt that, and I mean, what really brought it to light was in the Tiny Desk when they zoomed in it, because he was like, I'll close your heaven for the hell of it. And I'm just like, do you know how strong that is? I'm gonna close up, I'm gonna take away your euphoria. I'm gonna take away your utopia, whatever you call or whatever you living in, where you just feel like you're in that perfect space. I'm gonna just take it away from you for the hell of it, just because I can. Just because I can, and man, we got, you got all the references, and you got all, the different things out here about who that's at and who is aimed at and things of that nature, man. And, really don't want to jump into that, because that don't have nothing to do with me. But from a fan perspective, a hip hop listener perspective, whoever they say he's talking to better have themselves together if they think about getting in the wordplay with that cat right there.
JJ, putting in work, man. Putting in work, man. It's we all know who it is, but I mean, it's the whole. He say, at the end of his verse, you all know who get what the message is.
Yeah.
So
who starts their project off with such a touching song, man. Like you got Baby Bro coming from his perspective, Last Conversation with Ma Dukes. And you got Big Bro coming through with the Last Conversation from Pops. And even in that verse, he talks about how Pops gave him the game about, and go ahead. You can go ahead and go back to rap.
Gave him the blessing.
Yeah, game is like, go ahead and go back to rap. And then he come in, and if you look at all the interviews and just listen to him talk, he's still in the same space spiritually.
Right.
You know, you don't always have to be referencing Bible verses or saying God every other word, or hallelujah every other word, or amen every other word, to know, to have a secure place in your spirituality, for you to be in that proper place in a proper relationship. And I mean, you just listen to just every verse. You know, a lot of people listening to see if he cussing.
Well, I
You
mean,
know,
you
let me
can go
see.
it
Let
on
me see
camp
if
for
he.
that.
Let me see if he gonna cuss, because
You
he
can go
didn't
it on
cuss
camp
at Ace Trumpets. You know what I'm saying? Like when I heard Ace Trumpets, I listened to the verse and then I was like, yo, he didn't even cuss in that verse. I wasn't listening for cuss words, but you know, I'm listening. I'm an MC, so I'm gonna listen to what's being said, so I can listen to what somebody's saying and then go back and say, man, they didn't even cuss in the joint. And
Right.
just his whole vibe was different. But that song about their parents, man, is touching. You know, I could feel Malice, because you know,
Yeah.
Pops ain't here, and I'm quite sure, you know, y'all come from the same perspective, you know,
Yeah.
being there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know Pusha, he was talking about his mom and how she was saying as well, for him, she wished that he was back with his brother so they can watch out for him. So, it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's
Right.
deep in that, in that they wanted them to look out for each other, because hey, they know that they don't got nothing but each other. And that's
Mm-hmm.
about, and that's what it's about. It's about family. It's about,
Mm-hmm.
looking out for one another and sticking together,
Yeah.
and for them to have that as the last words that they spoke to the parents, and the parents spoke to them about. It's real touching. It means more to you as a person. That's like, all right, well, that's my brother. Well,
I just felt like that was, you know, like that. And they both spoke about, you know, in a couple of interviews, spoke about how difficult that was. Push talked about how he struggled doing his verse, and how it affected him when he heard Malice verse. And Malice talked about how hard it was for him to deliver after he heard Push deliver his. Like, you know, I mean, I tried to write a song about my pops and I couldn't get but a bar and a half out.
Mm.
You know, it's just difficult. And for them to be able to articulate it in detail,
Mhm.
the detail of it, the detail of each song, the constructions, the patterns, how they didn't come, because they're too different, how they didn't come with different flows. They both had, everything is in unison.
In sync. Yeah.
It's
It's
like
really in
it's
sync.
like a Run DMC, EPMD, like in the same pocket. You
Mhm.
know, you get a lot of duos where they in totally different pockets that sound good. You know, for a lot of times of Mobb Deep, as dope as they were, you know, Prodigy and Havoc weren't in the same pocket all the time. Like Malice and Push was in the whole pocket in the same pocket for 13 songs.
Straight.
And
But you know, they
they don't
got
do
the
extra songs. They don't do extra songs. They do what they do for the project, and that's it.
and that's it. Okay.
They don't have
Well,
songs laying around.
you know, I can appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Oh
You know,
yeah. Yeah.
I the emotion, um, the birds don't sing. Just like I'm gonna tell you, man, that feeling, um, like when Malice was when he went to his dad's house and he said he knocked the third time and he got like, I forget the actual word he used, but it was like the chills. I've been there, man, and
Mhm.
now my dad was fine at this moment, but he was 80 years old at this time, and nobody was home. And I went to the house, and I don't just walk in. You know, you got to keep to the crib, but you'll live there no more. You'll just walk in. So I'm ringing the doorbell, I knock, and something just a fear came over me that my dad gone. And I got in the house, I opened the door, I went in here, and I'm calling him, and he ain't responding. And I'm starting to get frantic. So I go to the back because in the they call it the owner's suite now, but in the master bedroom, the bathroom was all the way in the back. So he was in the bathroom just getting himself together, and he just didn't hear me. But it gave me like a relief, but I was never the same after that.
Yeah,
that was the day where I knew I had to prepare myself to take over. Not really take over, but be that man in the family, because my dad is 80 at this point. Yeah, he lived, several years after that. But it's just, that feeling, man, I'm so glad it didn't happen then, because when somebody is well, and they leave this earth, it mess with you. Because or visibly well, because we don't know, we never know what people are going through. That song touched me, man, because they lost their parents in a 4-month window. And just the way that they crafted that song, and one of the closing lines was the passcode to his phone was "I love my two sons."
Yes, sir. That's telling you, boy. That's a level of maturity, man. That's missing. That's missing from the music with them together, is because we haven't really heard Malice, and we kind of just been hearing Push. So you kind of just got to see Push's growth as an MC.
And that's not to interrupt you, Ro, but that's what's so scary. It's because all of that product that Pusha was doing, Malice was, you know what I'm saying?
But Malice, even though when he changed his name, he was putting out music. I think that because
he put out a couple gospel projects.
Because of the work that he was doing in the realm he was doing it in, people ain't gonna be really checking like that, unless you a fan. You know what I mean? If you're a fan, then you're checking. But for the average person that listen, they're not gonna check for that person, because they're not looking to see that person in their growth. Because I believe that he had growth when he branched off. And once
with those, I'm gonna show you something.
Then
with those, with those. Go ahead. Sorry. With that genre doesn't get a lot of promotion, a lot of marketing.
Right.
It's gotta have that, got that Kurt Franklin, he with that DJ Khaled type vibe, or Ty Tribute, or the other ones. You know what I mean? We very rarely get just a simple, good gospel song hit mainstream like we have with, like a BB and CC Winans, or Ashford and Simpson with Solid as a Rock, things of that nature. It always have to be some type of other engine to push that genre. They don't have the engine that all the other music has.
This is what I see from them, man. This is what I see. Pusha and Malice, bro. This is it. That's why the album, like this project, man, it's just this is it, man.
Don't cut yourself.
It's I'm not, but I understand what Sharp. They came back, and of course they brothers, so it's something extra. With that. But man, just the growth. I'm glad to see it. Like I said, man, I'm just a proud dude from the 757, man. And seeing what they were able to do, and with them being on the older age group of rappers, their project is dynamite.
Man, that was just about to get into the features, man. Man,
top
you know,
tier, just like he said, just like Pusha said, top tier. We looking for top tier.
Did you know that was Stevie Wonder on Birds Don't Sing that's talking at the end? It's like that's
I didn't. I was wondering who that was.
That's Stevie, man. That's Stevie Wonder.
Yep.
You know, because John Legend totally kills it. John Legend kills everything.
Yeah.
One of the most underrated voices in the game, John Legend. And then huh?
You think he was probably using the piano when he was on the track?
Oh, John Legend? He could have been, could not have been, because Pharrell could play the same way. So, you know, I mean, but it could have been John Legend. I could see Pharrell in his producer bag allowing John Legend to play.
It sounded like John Legend style.
It did. It did.
It did sound like style.
We talked about the Tyler the Creator feature. Man, you know, Nasir Jones, man.
Nasir Jones.
Come on.
Let God sort them out. Chandeliers.
Man. And I'm gonna tell you something. There is right now. I stream through Amazon. And right now, the top, I'll just say the top 3 or 4 songs is Chains and Whips by far. That's
Kendrick up there, yes.
Chains and Whips. Then it's gonna be Ace Trumpets. Then the next one is POV with Tyler the Creator.
Tyler up there,
which Tyler just dropped a project too called Ring Ring Ring. He just dropped that. I told Raymond the other day I would listen to it. I was trying. And then Chandeliers with Nas. Wow. So those are the top 4 out of the 13 songs.
My personal favorites on top of those is Inglorious Bastards.
Okay.
Up there.
Man, Ab Lava is a bossmith, yo. Man, a lot of people talk about New York MCs and Jersey MCs. Philly got some MCs, yo. Like Ab Lava been with them for a while, but he started out with Philly's Most Wanted, but he's done some writing for Dre. Like he been in the game for a minute, just been kind of low key. That boy Ab Lava tough, man. That boy Ab, like he come through. Like he come through. And he's man.
Yeah. And then like I was feeling All Things Considered. That was good. And got back on the one with and FICO with what is it, Stove God Cook. So
yeah. And even Pharrell got bars. Like they don't write Pharrell stuff. Pharrell write his own joint.
Right.
You know, so it's like everybody who contributed. I guess when you get a call from them, because they don't call many, you best understand that you gotta have your game face on. I mean, that Kendrick verse, Kendrick somewhere else, man. You know, back to this Let God Sort Em Out, man. We gotta, you know, I'm quite sure I speak for the other 2 fellas, for Big and Shine, when I say that, you know, we're all avid hip hop listeners, hip hop purists. And for a project like this to come out and with the nostalgia of past projects, with the level of lyricism and the level of production and everything surrounding it to come out, and for it to come out from a group that's from our hometown, I think the amount of pride and appreciation that we feel, like you put VA back on the map.
Yeah.
We've been going for a minute. Kind of failed, you know, I mean, you know, Timbaland doing something different, Misty doing a lot of things, but it's not like when because, you know, at one time they had a chokehold on the game. Like one time, Timberland was Thanos. That was Thanos. Like Timberland was Thanos.
Pharrell, man.
You know, and they're Pharrell, and both of them like giving Jay all these records. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. It's like,
you
okay,
know,
y'all got there go. Y'all, they like, and I know you don't like me referencing down south artists, but they like beats by the pound. They cranking out goddamn going beats and stuff, getting them to New York artists, and they blowing up off of they beats. And they're like, hey, dang, bro, you getting our folk no goddamn go shine like that, man. Come
hey,
on,
man. You know, you can't hate. You know, some people know how to make songs.
That was back then.
Yeah, you know, and I think, you know, and Push talked about it. You know, when grinding. I think what's telling about the Clipse is when they've been talking, they only go back to grinding. It's like they say everything started at grinding. I challenge anybody to jump on YouTube and put in The Funeral.
Okay, yeah.
The Funeral to me was dope. That's the first time I saw the Clipse.
Yeah.
And the music was dope. They had bars then, and I'm quite sure they, you know, if somebody happened to see this and kind of hit them on the jack and be like, these 757 cats talking about y'all album, and they like, who that crazy dude bringing up The Funeral? History, man. I'm a hip hop fan. I remember The Funeral. I personally thought it was dope. I don't care what nobody else's opinion is. I thought it was dope. The video was dope. It was everything about it was dope. Yeah, you know.
So yeah,
but they started that grinding, and they talk about how, you know, Pharrell threatened to get a beat to Jay if they ain't come do something with it. I can't hear Jay on it, but the Clipse.
Well, now you can't. No.
You know, it's forever embedded in your brain.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because I know that me and you, I believe me and Ro was together. Shine, you might have been there when we saw them when the record had hit so hard, grinding hit so hard that they were at Showtime in the Apollo, and I think that may have been one of their very first big performances doing that song. And New York gave him the love, you know. New York gave him the love, and I can see now. For me, now maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we'll hear them tell this story one day. I haven't never heard it, but I can see the nervousness turn into confidence in that performance.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
because it's the Apollo.
It's the Apollo.
I mean, but you know, we got it's like we almost like cousins, goddamn, because shoot, you know, our greatest influence is New York music. So it's like, yo, especially with hip hop, that's our greatest influence.
Yeah,
well, that should
Chris
be.
Always talk about Cliff. They used to be down there by Norfolk State selling the mixtapes. He always talk about Cliff. You know, and it's just, I mean, you could just see the influence, and they so VA. Like the pettiness of Pusha sometimes just brings it to light, man. This dude is just so petty. It's ridiculous. Like that's just typical VA, Virginia Beach, Norfolk. It's just typical 757 attitude. Like, yeah, keep playing if you want to. I ain't gonna say much, but you hear what I'm talking about. I'm talking to you.
Right.
You know exactly who I'm talking about. You know, they coming to the crib August 10th. They show down at the Dome, the new joint down in Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
You know, you can go and get your tickets. Seem like it'll be a nice.
They're kicking off. Kicking off. Yeah, they're kicking off their tour.
Yeah, they're on tour. And you know, I don't know why they're not gonna perform at the Cousins Festival, but you know, they got the Cousins Festival. That's, you know, pushing the family thing they doing at the Scope. That's August 30th, but they're not performing there. They got a show somewhere else. But August 10th, they're gonna be down at that new joint down the beach. I seen a couple of concert footage down there, and it looked decent down there.
another Get Established show. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the conversation we had about hip hop overall, but specifically about the Clipse new album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. Right out of the 7 cities, these guys have championed hip hop in its finest, most polished form.